Models in France will now have to get a letter from their doctor before they're allowed to work. A new law passed on Thursday requires doctors to confirm the models are a healthy weight. Lawmakers also voted that altered images of models must be labelled in magazines. Anyone who breaks the law could face 6 months in prison and a fine of $82,000. Well, Carolyn Mair is an academic at the London College of Fashion and joins us live now from the capital, London. Thank you very much for your time. So models in France now, they'll need a doctor's note to say that they're healthy. But how exactly do we define healthy here, and what are the common medical complaints amongst models?
The doctor's notes will take into account the age of the models, background, their body mass index, and other issues around them, probably their history and family history. It's very important that these issues are taken into account for models, and previous countries such as Israel, Spain and Italy do have legislation to make sure that models are of a certain body mass index, so over 18.5. Nevertheless, the models in this country and the fashion industry is saying there's more to it than just the body mass index.
You say it's important. How unhealthy is the industry then? Is this law really necessary?
In my opinion, the law is absolutely necessary. The industry is very unhealthy and it promotes a thin ideal which becomes the norm to which people compare themselves, and this is damaging individual self-esteem from young children, girls, right through to older women, and increasingly men and boys are reporting health issues that result in eating disorders and other mental health issues as a result of not matching up to this unachievable and altered body image.
You've touched on it there. Is this largely an issue for female models, or does it also apply to men in the fashion industry?
It's both. It's male and female. And generally the models are very, very thin because the designers have to make samples which are very small. And so when the models wear the samples that have been created by the fashion houses, they need to find a very, very thin model to wear them on the catwalk. And these models, because they're so small, the sample size, that the models are becoming younger and younger as the size decreases. And this is increasingly so for males and females, and more so for males as the fashion industry on menswear is becoming increasingly important.
Does it look as if other countries will follow France's lead here?
I hope so, and I hope the UK will as well, and take into account that there are issues beyond body mass index, which in itself is very important, but also other issues around health. It's difficult for people to see. There are not physical signs when someone has an eating disorder necessarily. So, for example, you can't see when someone has a mental health problem. You can't see that. There are some physical signs around eating disorders, but they're not necessarily visible, particularly to model agents who might not be able to pick out that their models are having issues to keep their size down to what they're told is necessary to be in the industry.
Okay, Carolyn Mair, thank you very much for your time here on TRT World.